So what really are the long-term implications of plastic? Why is it so important that we don't just let it pile up? What would happen if we let it sit there forever?
We took all of these questions and more to Nathan Gray, who is working on making sustainable building blocks, or eco-bricks, out of soft plastics and disposable water bottles. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to plastic.
We had actually met him for the first time this past fall at a river cleanup, and that's when he first introduced us to the eco-brick project.
I'm Nathan Gray. I'm a founder of House Factory Foundation. I'm also the project lead of eco-bricks. And what I see is there's mostly plastic. It's mostly plastic out there. One of the most common things that I see are soft plastic bags, fireball nips, and other alcohol nips. I think the more litter that's out there, the more people are kind of willing to throw their trash on the ground as well. If they see other people doing it, they think that it's okay for them to do it. So yeah, it's just something that needs to be educated more. So we need to educate people more on it's not just about getting rid of that piece of trash, but what it actually does and how long it stays there, what it goes through.
Nathan explained to us that litter in the streets washes into rivers and ultimately into the ocean from runoff. So we decided to get a better look of our watershed and see where the litter is really going. Brook is a tributary to the Ipswich River, which means that its water, along with any litter in the water, flows into the larger river. It continues through Essex County and finally empties its contents into the Atlantic in Ipswich. This is where Brook and the Ipswich River meet the ocean. All of the water from our local watersheds ultimately ends up here.
And all of our litter floods out into the ocean for marine life to eat or be exposed to. What kinds of animals might eat plastic litter?
Yeah, the turtles are a big one that we're finding a lot of. That turtles are eating plastics or getting stuck inside plastics. The more it breaks down, the wider range of animals that can eat it. One of the big ones, there's a lot of case studies on it now, is the fish in the ocean and fish in streams and lakes that we're consuming are consuming these plastics. So if they're consuming the plastics, then we are. And it's quite a scary thing.
Yeah. But what's even more scary is that the path of plastic is not as simple and predictable as litter flowing out to sea.
Plastics break down into microplastics, and these are spread across the world. They can get wrapped up into the precipitation cycles in the soil, in our bodies.
The original form of plastics, for instance, a water bottle can sit in a trash heap for 100 years. And if it's a tarp, for instance, that sits in the sun, it could break down for 3 to 5 years. We all have tarps in our yards that start to break down a little bit over time. So the environmental exposure compared to with the sun and the heat and different things are definitely that. But it's inevitable that the microplastics stay in our system and in the ground for hundreds of years. Yeah, microplastics is the breakdown of the original plastic into very small particles, and the particles keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller and never really going away. Once you learn how to look for microplastics, you can start to find them everywhere. It's like a new car that you buy, and you see it everywhere on the street when you first get that car. They're formed by plastic weed block or tarps that I discussed earlier, or even your kids' toys that get left outside over the winter. It all leaves its impact on the ground and just stays for a very long time. Adding a different chemical makeup to the existing environment is changing things. It's like adding a new predator to the area. It's going to have an effect that we might not see right away, but it will have a long-term effect.
And the longer it sits there, the more it's on its way to break down into microplastics, which can get caught up into precipitation cycles. Microplastics can attach to water vapors, which rise into the clouds with evaporation and can come down anywhere in the world in rain or snow. They're in the air we breathe. They're in the soil our food is grown from. They're in Arctic snow, decreasing surface albedo and increasing the rate of ice melt. These chemicals can be hormone disruptors, BPAs, PCBs. The litter problem is so much bigger than Fishbrook. A piece of litter can have global effects.